The journey that changed everything. Chapter 1. Two friends, one big dream. Ann and Koa were best friends. They lived in a small city in Vietnam. Ann was a girl. She was 24 years old. She was friendly and loved to talk. She worked in a coffee shop. Koa was a boy. He was also 24 years old. He was quiet and kind. He was a graphic designer and he loved art and liked boys. Koa liked boys too. This was not a problem for their friendship. They were like brother and sister. They told each other everything. One evening, they were drinking tea, and looked at a map on her phone. "Koa," she said, "we live in a beautiful country, but we only see this one city. I want to see everything." Koa looked at the map. "What do you mean?" he asked. "I mean, let's go on a PHT trip," she said. PHT is a Vietnamese word for a long trip on a motorbike. "Let's travel all of Vietnam, from the north to the south." Koa's eyes opened wide. He was usually a quiet person. He liked his safe life, but the idea was exciting. A trip across Vietnam, on motorbikes, he asked. "That is a very big trip." "Yes," Ann said. "It will be an adventure. We will see the mountains in Ha Giang. We will see the beaches in Da Nang. We will eat food in every city. It will be amazing." Koa thought for a moment. He looked at Ann. Her face was full of excitement. When Ann was happy, he was happy. "Okay," he said with a slow smile. "Let's do it." For the next 6 months, they saved money, and worked extra hours at the coffee shop. Koa took more design jobs. They bought 2 good motorbikes. They bought helmets, jackets, and a tent. They planned their route. They would start in Hanoi in the north and finish in the Mekong Delta in the south. Their families were worried. "It is a long and dangerous trip," Ann's mother said. "Be careful." Koa's father said. "We will be careful," they promised, "and we have each other." Finally, the day came. They took a bus with their motorbikes to Hanoi. The big trip was ready to start. They were excited and a little scared. They did not know that this journey would change their lives forever. Chapter 2. The Cold Mountains and Warm Hearts. The north of Vietnam was beautiful and wild. The mountains were very big. The roads were small and difficult. Ann and Koa drove slowly and carefully. It was colder in the mountains. They wore warm clothes. They drove through Ha Giang province. The view was amazing. Green mountains were everywhere. Sometimes, they were high in the clouds. Koa stopped many times to take photos. "It's like a painting," he said, and loved talking to the local people. They were from different ethnic groups. They wore beautiful, colorful clothes. In a small village, they met a family. The family invited them for dinner. They did not speak much English, and Ann and Koa did not speak their language, but they communicated with smiles and hands. The family gave them corn wine. It was very strong. Ann and Koa laughed a lot. One day, Koa's motorbike had a problem. It made a loud noise and then it stopped. They were on a lonely road. There were no houses or shops. "Oh no," Ann said. She was worried. "What do we do now?" Koa was not a mechanic. He looked at the engine, but he did not understand it. He felt useless. He was usually the planner, the one who was careful. Now, he had a problem he could not fix. Ann saw that Koa was worried. She put her hand on his arm. "Don't worry, Koa," she said with a smile. "We are a team. We will find a solution." And walked down the road. After 20 minutes, she came back with a man. He was a farmer. He had a rope. He smiled and pointed to Koa's motorbike. He tied the rope from his motorbike to Koa's motorbike. He pulled Koa's motorbike to the next town. It was a slow and bumpy ride. In the town, a mechanic fixed the motorbike. It was a simple problem. That evening, they sat in a small guest house. "You saved us today," Koa said to Ann. "You were very brave." "I was just sitting there." "That's not true," Ann said. "You are always careful. You plan everything. That's why we are safe. We are good together because we are different." Koa looked at his best friend. She was right. He was quiet, and she was talkative. He was a planner, and she was brave. In that moment, he felt a strong feeling of love for her. It was not a new feeling. He always loved her as a friend. But tonight, it felt different. It felt bigger. Chapter 3. New friends in Hoi An. After the mountains, they drove south. The weather became warmer. They stopped in Hue to see the old imperial city. Then, they drove over the Hai Van Pass. The road was next to the sea. It was one of the most beautiful roads in the world. They arrived in Hoi An in the evening. The old town was full of colorful lanterns. It was magical. "I love this place already," Ann said. They found a small homestay. They planned to stay for 3 days. The next day, they explored the town. They walked through the yellow streets. They drank coffee. They sat by the river. In the afternoon, they met two other travelers. They were from Australia. Their names were Chloe and Liam. They were also traveling by a motorbike. The four of them had dinner together. They talked and laughed. Chloe and Liam were a couple. They were very in love. They held hands and looked at each other with happy eyes. "How long have you two been together?" Chloe asked and Ankoa and laughed. "Oh, we're not a couple. We are just best friends." "Really?" Liam said. "You seem like a couple. You understand each other so well." Koa felt his face become warm. He looked at Anne. She was smiling. The conversation continued, but Koa was quiet. He watched Chloe and Liam. He saw how they cared for each other. Then he watched Anne. He saw how she talked with so much energy. He saw her beautiful smile. Later that night, Anne and Koa were walking by the river. People were putting small paper lanterns with candles into the water. "Let's do it," Anne said. They bought 2 lanterns. They made a wish and put their lanterns in the water. They watched the small lights float away and turned to Koa. "What did you wish for?" she asked. "I can't tell you. It's a secret," he said, smiling. In his heart, his wish was very clear. He wished for a lifetime of happiness with Anne. But what did that mean? He was gay. He liked boys, but his feelings for Anne were so deep. His love for her was the biggest thing in his life. It was bigger than any label. It was confusing. "You're very quiet tonight," Anne said. She looked at him with her kind eyes. "I'm just thinking," he said. He wanted to tell her, but he was afraid. He was afraid to lose his best friend. Chapter 4, A Storm and a Realization. From Hoi An, they drove to a quiet beach area. They found a small bungalow near the sea. It was a beautiful place. The sand was white and the water was blue. For 2 days, they relaxed. They swam, read books, and talked. Their friendship was easy and comfortable. But for Koa, something was different. Every time Anne smiled at him, his heart felt warm. Every time she laughed, he wanted to hold her hand. He thought about his life. He always knew he was gay. He had dated boys before, but no relationship was as important as his friendship with Anne. His love for her was a different kind of love. It was deep and quiet and strong. Maybe, he thought, love is not about boys or girls. Maybe love is just about a person. And his person was Anne. On their 3rd day, a big storm came. The sky turned black. The wind was very strong, and the rain was very heavy. The owner of the bungalows told everyone to stay inside. Anne and Koa sat in their small room. They watched the storm. The lights went out. It was dark. Anne was scared of storms. She moved closer to Koa on the bed. "I don't like storms," she said in a small voice. Koa put his arm around her. "It's okay," he said. "I am here. We are safe." She rested her head on his shoulder. They sat in the dark for a long time. The only sound was the wind and the rain. In the quiet darkness, Koa felt brave. "And," he said softly. His heart was beating very fast. "Yes," she said. "This trip, it has been amazing," he started. "And it is amazing because I am with you." "Me too, Koa. I can't imagine this trip with anyone else." He took a deep breath. "My feelings for you are changing," he said. "They are becoming bigger, more than just friends. I know it's complicated. I know who I am, but I think I am falling in love with you." And he said the words. The secret was out. The room was silent. Koa was terrified and sat up. She turned to look at him in the dark. He could not see her face clearly. Then, she took his hand. Her hand was warm. "Koa," she said. Her voice was soft. I think I am falling in love with you too." Koa could not speak. He felt a tear run down his face. It was a tear of happiness and relief. And moved closer and gently kissed him. It was not a passionate, movie-style kiss. It was a soft, gentle kiss. It was a kiss of best friends. It was a kiss of new love. It was a kiss that said, "I am here. I understand. And I feel it too." The storm was still strong outside, but inside their small room, everything was calm and clear. Chapter 5, A New Kind of Journey. The next morning, the storm was gone. The sun was shining. Everything looked fresh and clean. Anne and Koa walked out of their bungalow, holding hands. It felt natural. It felt right. They were not just best friends anymore. They were something more. They did not have a name for it yet. They did not need one. They continued their journey south. But now, it was different. They talked more. They shared their secret thoughts and fears. Koa told her about his confusion. "I have always liked boys," he explained one evening as they watched the sunset. "But my love for you feels more important than that. You are my home." And listened. She did not judge. She understood. For me, she said, it was always you. I dated other boys, but nobody understood me like you. Nobody made me feel as safe as you. Their love was not like other people's love. It was their own special kind. They faced more challenges on the road, and got a fever in Nha Trang. Koa stayed with her in their hotel room for 3 days. He brought her soup and medicine. He read books to her. He saw how strong she was, even when she was sick. In Mui Ne, their bag with their money and phones was stolen. They were upset and scared. They had very little money left, but they worked together. They found a cheap guest house. They found a small restaurant, where they could work for a few days for food, and a little money. In that difficult time, they learned that they were a very good team. They could survive anything together. The challenges did not break them. They made them stronger. Their love grew with every kilometer they traveled. Chapter 6, The Big City and a Big Question. Finally, they arrived in Ho Chi Minh City. It was a huge, busy, modern city. It was so different from the quiet mountains and beaches. They stayed in the city for a week. They explored the noisy streets. They visited the museums. They met some of Koa's old friends from university. One of Koa's friends, Min, was also gay. Koa talked to him one afternoon. I am so happy for you, Koa, Min said after hearing the story. Love is love. It doesn't always follow the rules. And is a wonderful person. It is not strange that you loved her. Koa felt good after talking to Min. He felt that his love was valid and real. That night, Koa took him to a beautiful rooftop restaurant. They could see all the lights of the city. It has been a long journey, and said, looking at the view. Yes, Koa said. He took her hand. And, when we started this trip, I thought it was about seeing our country, but it was about finding you, or finding us. He looked into her eyes. I don't know what the future will be like. Our life together might be different, but I want that life. I want to face every challenge with you. I want to wake up every morning and see you. He took a small, simple ring from his pocket. He made it himself from a piece of beautiful wood he found on a beach. And, I love you more than words can say. Will you marry me? Will you build a life with me? An's eyes filled with happy tears. All the people in the restaurant disappeared. There was only Koa, her best friend, her partner, her love. Yes, she whispered. Yes, Koa, 1,000 times. Yes. He put the wooden ring on her finger. It was more beautiful than any diamond. Chapter 7, The River of Life. The last part of their trip was the Mekong Delta. It was a land of rivers and green rice fields. Life here was slow and peaceful. They took a boat trip on the big Mekong River. They saw the floating markets. They stayed in a small homestay with the kind family. On their last evening, they sat on a small wooden dock. They watched the sun go down over the river. The water was calm. The sky was orange and pink. We did it, and said softly. She rested her head on Koa's shoulder. We traveled all of Vietnam. We did, Koa said, putting his arm around her, and we found our way home. Their PhD trip was over, but their real journey was just beginning. They returned to their city not as two best friends, but as partners for life. They opened a small coffee shop. The walls were decorated with Koa's beautiful photos from their trip. It was called the Journey Coffee. People sometimes asked about their story. It was not a simple story to tell, but they did not need to explain it to anyone. Their love was their own. It was born on the long, winding roads of Vietnam. It was tested by mountains and storms, and it was as deep and as strong as the great Mekong River. Their journey had changed everything, and they would not have it any other way.